Incorrect usage. We're going to look at some incorrect ways to use conditionals. First example is if you are going to do something if B is true and something else if it's false, you should test in the positive. You should test if B is true and do that thing. By the way, if B is a conditional, you can also just test if B, but test the positive case first. It would be incorrect to test the negative case first. It's just less clear. You should only test the negative case if you're not going to ever use the positive case. Clarity is really important here. By the way, these work just fine. In all these examples, the incorrect way works. It's just a matter of which way is clearer. Here's another case for you. So I want to only do the negative case. So the mistake would be to test the positive case and then pass, which means do nothing. So if B is true, do nothing, otherwise print no. That's not clear. It's much clearer to just say if B is not true, go ahead and print no. Okay. Using if instead of and. This one, to tell you the truth, I'm less concerned about, but you can put in if B is true, and you can put an if statement in front of there. If B2 is true, then you print both B1 and B2 are true. Over here, you just say if B1 and B2 are true. I believe that this is the clearer way to do it, though both, of course, work. This avoiding else issue is a pretty serious issue. If you want to say if B is true, print yes, otherwise print no. Over here, we're testing if B is true, print yes, and then totally separately, if B is false, print no. These work the same, but this code is significantly better. First, it's simply clearer. Second, it actually does less work because you only have to do the test for B once, and for a large test, that can actually save you some time. But really, it's a matter of clarity. And third, it's less prone to errors because it's very clear that you're going to run this code or that code, but never both. And here, that's not so clear on the left-hand side. And it's possible to introduce bugs that are subtle, where code is running when you don't think it is. In this example, we're trying to determine the size of small, medium, or large, or extra large. And here we see the test done correct. We test for small. When we get to medium, we don't have to test if x is less than 5, because if it was, it would have been small. So by doing elifs, you already know the previous if test did not succeed, so you can take that into account. Whereas here, if you have independent tests, you must test for the entire range, because you don't have the benefit of knowing that this test failed by the time you get to this test. Here's a better example, as it were. So in this example, we test if it's uppercase. We test if it's not uppercase, it's lowercase. And if it's neither, then we get here, we know, hey, that's not uppercase or lowercase. It's not a letter. If we did these tests independently, things can get very gross, because the test to tell if it's not uppercase or lowercase, as you can see, can be quite gross. Now, at this point in the course, we're not really using strings, so you're not going to use this on the homework this week. But even so, this clearly shows that by nesting elif and else, you inherit the negated clauses so that your logic becomes much clearer. Finally, it's a terrible thing to use Boolean logic instead of if. So here, if you test x is greater than 0 and 99, what is that going to do if x is 42? Well, 42 is greater than 0, so that's true. True and 99 in Python actually evaluates to 99. While that happens, please don't do that. It's a terrible idea. This code is very unclear, and it shows an arcane, old-fashioned way of coding. This code here is perfectly clear. It works the same as the code on the left, only it's perfectly clear, and this is the way you should code. There's another example here if you'd like. And then also, similarly to Boolean logic, Boolean arithmetic is another mistake that you should not do. We saw in a previous video how if you use true in a multiplication, it would act as 1, and false would act as 0. This code right here, therefore, will evaluate to 99 if x is positive and 0 otherwise. Oh, it's awful. This code right here does the same thing, only it's perfectly clear. So you should use ifs and elses and not use this Boolean logic trick or this Boolean arithmetic trick, both of which are really a bad idea. And that is the end of the demonstrations of the things that you should not do when using if statements.